Hey, what's going on out there? Had a really good day yesterday in the crypto market. Leading off with ADX, running all the way up to 50%. We had pretty sure we had three others that ran up that high, but since then retraced. Tomorrow's the new weekly candle, and I wanted to make sure everyone knows that we need to make sure that we stay above that 8 as it popped across yesterday. And make sure we don't retrace back below it. Nice cross above the 34 on the daily. Nice push. And I would suggest that we're not in a bull market until we get across the 34 on the weekly chart, which is all the way up to 55 to 6 grand. So a lot of work to do, but nonetheless, very nice sentiment, very nice move across the 34 into previous lows. Very good indication of what's going on. Let's look at an intraday chart. See if we can't get something. Let's see that move from the bottom. Yesterday during my session, I was begging Bitcoin to hurry up, make its move. You're going to take another step down, do it. You're going to do something, do it. Tired of waiting for you, Bitcoin. And then after the video was done, it made its move, made a spike down, reversed all the way back up, and I posted on my Steemit a picture of this spot right here. So it came back down into support, blew past, came up, boom, boom, came back in, and then you can see the accumulation here, the higher lows, and the higher highs, and you can see what happened after that. So just to make sure that we stay above, we want to make sure we don't retrace all the way back in below the 8 on this weekly. It was a very nice pop across the 8 on the weekly chart. Very nicely done. I'm begging to stay above the 34 on the daily chart for tomorrow's close on the weekly candle. So I'm just going to flip through these. You can see where we are. We want to stay above the 8, and we want to be across the 34. So you can see Cardano moved into past the 8 into the 13 yesterday, and it is above the 8. A nice 3-bar pattern here. Over the 8, 13 into the 8 for support, and then we had that bounce. So let's hold our gains. ADX was the biggins yesterday. Just right off the bat, right on the open, not more than 5-10 seconds. Boom! If you didn't hold it, you weren't going to catch it. So when I saw it, it was already up at 12%. It ran to about 50. But you can see coming across that 34 on the weekly chart. It's going to be very nice to see all of these coming across 34 on the weekly chart. Some of them need some help. Like this one's still hugging support. We need to be above the 8. So this one crossed above the 8 and 34, came back in, pop, came back in, pop, consolidate, and then made a little dip. Needs some help, but it's got some nice legs. Look at that inverted hammer down here on the daily chart. Nice. Y'all need some help getting above that weekly chart. 8. Still, some of these are still hugging the bottom. Some of them are falling past the bottom. Not showing any support on that last one. APPC looking promising to get past the 8, 13, and 34 all in one kick. See if it can't do it by tomorrow. ARDR had a nice pop yesterday, but came all the way back in. You can see the pop right into the 34. Came all the way back in. ARK, another nice move. 3-bar pattern at the bottom, just kicked it. Boom. So it popped, the 34 came back in. That's a nice looking chart on the weekly chart. Something to look at for buying up at support. Still up 30%. Nice. ARN, another one. Look how tight. Look how tight that is on the weekly. You can see the last pop on the daily coming back in. Another good one to watch. AST was another booming. Actually, that one, yeah. Some of these daily charts are different, but you can see it popping across the 8 and 13 on the weekly, coming back into the support. Popping across the 34 on the daily, coming back into support. Bat's got a nice reverse head and shoulders. Had a pop a few days ago, coming back into support. ECD, it's hugging support lines. I don't know what to think of it yet, but had a nice pop in over the 8 and 13 yesterday. BCH ABC had a nice pop. You can see the reverse head and shoulders on the daily. Watch for a previous high break. These, if it's going to start. Some of these are just getting going. This one's still having trouble, but it had a nice pop. Popped over the 13.8, came back into support. You can see that nice little U shape here with a spike low, so watch for a continuation above the 34 on the daily. BLZ, looks like it popped into resistance, kind of popped back, made a new low. And then I got a 2-bar reversal forming. Nice pop across the 34 on the daily. See if it can't hold its gains. BNB, remember I was mentioning the accumulation factor, now the boom outside of it. Remember the kickback? That didn't mind at all. Just a little shakeout after the accumulation. I'm guessing that it'll reach previous highs, maybe kick back a little bit, do the 2-bar reversal, or the 1-2 punch is what I mean, into resistance, back into support, and then boom. Let's see if that works out. It's a weekly chart, so it could take a while. BNT, looks like the daily hit that 34 pretty hard. BQX, pop, boom, 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 stair stepping down for a few weeks now. Nice J curve forming. Don't know if it's ready yet, but watch for a reversal. BRD, this one likes to trade. Pop, 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 pop. You can see the 8 crossing over the 13 here. You can see the 8 really, really tight in here. So what's going to happen with BRD? Up or down? It's getting real tight in there. We still have a lot of resistance to get through on Bitcoin, but like I said, that was a nice feast. So get your coins ready to trade. BTG has some troubles here. Maybe a double bottom. We'll see. BTS, you can see how tight that is down here. The price moving over the 8 into the 13, just hugging the 8 and the 13. Watch for a pop. It's daily primed. Not much information on BitTorrent yet. CDT, waiting. Cloak, caught in between resistance support again and again and again. You're going to see this all day long. CMT, some trouble down there. See, in between. Pop, pop. CND looks good. CVC had a nice pop yesterday. You can see that long wick popping across the 34 on the daily. Inverted hammer right there. See how that closes today. Some dash. See how tight that is on the down. The weekly has an A-B bottom. The A-B bottom. And then the curve. See how that works out. Nice cross above the 34 on the daily. Data in between support and resistance again. Weekly charts. DCR still below the 8, but I'm showing a nice little doji. Very tight. So let's see how that works out. It held support so far. It's got it showing a higher low. Dent into resistance, back into support. It's hugging support now, but watch it as it crosses. DGD. It's got to break into previous lows. It's very nicely snug right above the 8. DLT ran a few weeks ago. Ran a bit higher. Then I got the higher low now. So is the 34 going to catch it? It's still far and away from its average on the weekly. So let's see how that pans out. I fear it's going to come down a little bit further. DNT. Over resistance, back into support. One more time. Over and over and over again. These things are building, building, building. Lots of trend changes coming for the weekly charts here on the cryptos. So EDO already crossed over, back in, pop, back in. ELF. I'm betting on a good pump on ELF on one of these days. Got a nice cross. You can see that J curve as the 8's approaching the 13 and price has to move. Price has to get out of the way. Nice consolidation there on the bottom. ENG over the 34, back in. Over the 34, back in. Oh, could we close a nice hammer right over support? That looks precious. EOS ran up, was it 12% or so? Maybe even up to 20%. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But it had a nice pump. Still holding its gains. Nice cup. Look at that cup and handle. Boom time, right over resistance. Let's see how that closes today. Love me some EOS. Look at that weekly. Just a little bit more over resistance. Popping over that 34 for a trink change. Boom, boom time. Love that EOS, man. Boom. Back in. Same kind of moves. ETH. Didn't move as much as I don't think as it should have, but it had a nice pop after that W. Boom, boom. Pew. Nice. It's got some work to do. But nice pop over, coming back in, 2-bar reversal. Let's see how tomorrow closes. EVX, another one that popped yesterday. See how it popped above the 34. Now it's back hugging support now. Watch for those patterns to form above the 34 once it reaches across it. Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it takes a while, but watch the support consolidation above the 34. Fuel's hugging. Fun is hugging. Nice inverted hammer here. Do not neglect inverted hammers over support as it crossed over the 30, 13 and 8, making that inverted hammer. It's coming down a bit, but watch that one. Gas over the 34 into the 34. GNT, I believe, had a good move yesterday. Boom! Slam-a-dam-a-ding-dong. It's a nice reversal bar there. It's got to pick up the pace, though. It's got to close above the 8 and 13. Nice pop. GO. This one's still coming into the 8. It's got some work to do. Popped over, and now it's under. So let's see if it makes a new low, then it's not ready yet. But GRS was another one that popped the day prior. Remember that? Boom! Came all the way back in. So another one, inverted hammer over support. Another one to look at for some kind of reversal. GTO. Boom! Another one. Slamming. Look how tight that's going to get. Where previous lows, previous highs are going to have to match. It's going to be a fierce battle coming across that 34 for GTO. Nice. I like that one. GVT, that's a good one. It's got some support over the 34, and then boom, boom. Watch for another move across. Looks like it might be an inverted hammer over support on the daily. GXS. Nice U-turn right here. Boom. Coming back into support. Boom. Watch for previous high breaks on that daily. HC was running. Boom. Back in. A few weeks ago it made a cross, came back into support. Made a cross again, came into support. Hot. That ran all the way up to 45, 46, so I suspect it's going to come down a little bit. I'm showing 3 legs high, so I got tri-tips. That's a triple top in Spanglish. I had a 2-bar reversal working on ICX. INC coming across that 34 back into support as the 8's crossing over. This could get interesting. Daily looks like it's just a mess, but you get a fresh look of where it's at, trend changing off of the weekly there. IOST has heard some good stuff about that today. Look at that inverted, or that hammer right there. How it crossed above. Slamming. Little accumulation here. Came down. Watch for a move across IOST. Look for a cross across the 34 on the weekly. IOTA. Crossing over all the way back in. It's forming a bottom on the daily there. IOTX. Nice inverted hammer forming. You can see the pop and then all the way coming back in. Might be seeing a lot of these pops coming back in on all of them until it builds. Key, kind of going sideways. Needs to get back above previous lows. Boom. It's got some work to do, I think, but keep an eye. This KMD, I got an alert that keeps going off almost every single day. It's really tight. Watch that weekly breakout. KNC, it's got that look. Lend, pop across, coming back in. So over the 8, back into support, building to cross. It's got a nice little weekly chart there. Link has been running up for a few, right? So I'm not sure if this is going to bounce or come back in. You can see the pop across. That's a nice little hammer. Boom! Into resistance though. It could most definitely turn, but it's got to get there or it's going to fall over. Momentum's going to drop off through time. So inverted hammer again. See how these things close by Saturday evening. LRC. LRC, one that popped a few ago. Look at that J curve forming. Don't know if it's ready yet though. LSK. It's hugging that support line. LTC. Someone mentioned that the whole market moved because of LTC, but I know that Bitcoin moved first. So I don't know when they came up with that conclusion. But nonetheless, Litecoin was building into resistance, back into support. Boom! That's what we're looking for on the rest of these. Boom! That trend change. Let's see how Litecoin closes at the end of the week. LUN into resistance, back into support. Mana. Actually, Litecoin is the best chart looking though, so maybe I can see their point. MCO had a pop a few ago, and it came all the way back in, remember? Popping good times. MDA. Pop across, coming back in, pop, coming back in, pop, and then now we've got the U-turn looking thing. Watch for a previous high break for continuations. MFT has been waiting on this, but I think it'll pan out. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. Except for all my stupid lines. So it's building, right? Boom. Boom. It hit a high the other day, and I was like, it's breaking out. What? And it came all the way back in. So I'm waiting. MITH. It's well below the 8, 13, 34, whatever you got going on there. It's got some troubles, but it made a pop. Maybe a slight change in sentiment at the bottom here. MOD. It's got to make its move. It's hugging. MTH, kind of odd looking as the 8 crosses over the 13, kind of smacks into the 34 and smooths over. So watch this one as the 8 just boom. So dramatic. That's how tight it is in there though. Boom time. Hope you guys are ready. That's why I started doing videos again, because I seen it. It's building, building, building. Anything could happen though, so I could be wrong. It could take another leg down. All these pumps could just come all the way back in and then pop down. I mean, that's very probable, but I like the sentiment out there. And I think that we're going to turn for the better. Look at that, the building. That looks like how Litecoin started, right? It's the build, 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 build. Nano's hugging support, but bounced right off the support line, so I'll give it credit. NAS. These videos are so tedious because there's about 150 Binance coins. Boom times. So it's hugging support. Some of them, aren't ready. But watch, from the bottoms. Watch these things, man. Love me some NAV. It's got some work to do on that daily. But it's certainly in the in the realm of possibilities to make a move sometime here soon. In cash, trying to get above resistance on the bottom there. Long-term charts. Nebel, same thing. Look how the 8 crosses over. And price is stuck in between all the averages there. It's really tight. These things are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Imagine some will pop down, but so far so good. Look at the weekly chart on this thing. Seems like this MPXX, every move is like 5%, so you can imagine how if it breaks out, it's going to be boom time. Broke out, came into support, broke out, came into support. Watch for a previous high break. As it crosses over the 34, it could be a good winner for the real penny stock lovers. Nulls, you can see the pop that come back in. It's having some trouble, but look how tight that is. Going in for the splash here. The 8/13 splash. Same. OAX crossing over the 34 this time into support. Watch for the 8 to catch up. Omega, OMG. Looks like there's been troubles here. There's lots of high hopes for this one. It's on the down low. ONT into resistance, back into support, higher lows, over resistance, into the 13, back into support. Let's see what happens on this. OST, pop, come back in, pop, pop, pop. It's getting tight. PHX. Just waiting. I thought this thing was going to break. Wasn't ready yet, but it's building. PivX. Nice hammer. Look at that hammer. Look at that inverted hammer into support. Boom. going to happen. Some of these are going to be. Yesterday was good. 20%, 50%. I think there's 3 50%. There's a few 20%. Probably a dozen 10, 15%. Another dozen at 12. Into resistance, back into support. A lot of these things going on. Over resistance, back into support. Wasn't ready yet, looks like. Drawing it back, shaking them out. Power, boom! Waiting for the turn on this one. PPT. QKC, same, kind of just hugging support there. Into resistance, back into support building. Nice hammer on the weekly. Watch for the previous high breaks. Nice consolidation move in here. Or resistance, back into support. Same. Q-ton. Like it fell off the map there on the daily. But still's got support there on the weekly. Over resistance, back into support. I was hoping this was going to break out yesterday. I bought a little bit on a 5-hour chart. RDN. Oh no, it was this one, RDN, excuse me. Tightly wound up there. REP, over resistance, back into support. That looks really nice for a continuation here soon. Very tightly. REQ, very tight. Look at that. Oh, yeah. RLC. RVN's got some troubles there. It's got to pick up the pace. Salt, sideways consolidation. Wait for that breakout. SC. Like I said, some of these aren't ready yet. But a lot of them, you can tell, a lot of them are. This guy's hugging support. Signals. These, like I keep saying, these guys owe me some money, so I'm going to be on this like big time. All in, baby! No, I'm just kidding. Never go all in, guys. And never do the revenge trade either. It's not good trading. It's not. But I don't care. They owe me money. Into resistance, back into support. A little tightly wound up little bad boy, S&T. Steam. Over resistance, back into support, blah, blah, blah. Remember that run? That was 40% top to bottom, I believe. 40, 45%. So it came all the way down. Boom, boom, boom. Now I got a W working right here. I was thinking that one was going to take a... Whoa, yeah, look at that. Storage A popped a few days prior. Remember that? Slamming damn a ding dong. Nice inverted hammer. Nice inverted hammer. Oh! Watch for the previous high breaks. Ride that candle all the way back up. Pop. Stair step. Boom! That was badass. That was another one where it's just like out of nowhere. You know, the pump and dump artists? That one's hugging support, but it's really tight down there. It's got to make a move. Look how tight that is. Strat would had like that. That was like 100% move there. Came back in, pop. Came back in. Watch for the pop. Look at the higher low on the daily. It's getting forming up. It's positioning itself. Sub hugging support on this systems. I like this one as well. Kind of got knocked back, but remember, some of these get knocked back and it's just a shakeout. Just a shakeout. It's really, really tight in there. Theta. It's like, damn, why didn't you move yesterday with the rest of them? Damn. Boom time. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. TNB, hugging support. TNT, into resistance, back into support. Look how tight that is. Sick. Sick with enthusiasm. I got tri-tips showing it's got to move it's got to make a move or it's going to be coming back into support. It's far and away from its averages, and once things take off, they usually come back for an opposing point to touch in. So I'm betting that that one's going to... Ooh, no, that's nasty. I was thinking that this broke out a little bit yesterday, but I think it got rejected. This one's supposed to be trading soon. I'm not sure when. It said the 6th, but it's already, what, the 10th? Oh, it's the 8th. Previous high breaks. Look how tight that is down in there. VIA. Pop, come back in. VIB. Look how tight that this is getting as price, as higher lows into resistance coming straight down at it. Pop! Damn. VIBE already had a pop, coming back in now. Coming in for the splash. Remember the splash. The 8 over the 34. There's another splash when the 8 comes over the 13. So pop, let the averages come back in, and then the 8 carries it up. Make sure you stay above the 8. Wabai. Nice close. Looks like it's going to close on its close to its highs there. So holding its power. Look how tight that is. Wabai, another one. Waves. Bam! Already came across the 34. Now it's back into the 8. So let's see if it holds the 8. It's a very thin slice of support there coming across the 34 on the downside. If it wants to come down, let it. It's got to do its thing. Changing trend on wings. Boom! Coming back in. Watch for the continuation factors. See how tight that's getting in there? WPR. Tight, but I'm not sure yet. Watch for the previous high breaks on these bad boys. Set your alerts. Over the 8, 13, back into the 8. XEM, some trouble there. Might be just a shakeout. It's got to make a reversal back in. You can see the AB bottom. Nice hammer, 3-bar reversal. Let's see if it can't get above the 8. Start building this thing back up into previous lows. XLM, another one that just fell apart. Needs some trouble, but might be a bottom there. Little shakeout time. shakeout before the moves. Previous high, previous lows, balance point move, XMR looks positive. XRP, let's get rid of the lines. Showing a double bottom higher low on the daily. Cross over the 34, came into the 34, bum, bum, bum. Nice reversal bar. That's a falling star into support. So let's see. Do we have support? Daily says you might. XVG. 2-bar reversal over, under. Let's see how we close for the week. You can see how the balance points are running into the balance point. Like I said, some of these might not be ready, but support line, resistance. Amazing how their previous lows are matching up. Higher lows, little resistance. Gotta get across. It's very tight. Yo, yo. ZEC having some trouble there. Had a nice pop, but closing is having some trouble there. Looks like it opened down. Nice hammer right here. Knocking out a bottom. So it's got to hold that wick. Zen. Maybe a 2-bar reversal. Looks like daily's getting ready. ZIL, over the 8, over the 13, a little quick one here, into the 34, back into support. And I think closing it out with the ZRX, nice 2-bar reversal on the daily. Could be the shakeout, and then watch it move across into previous lows, riding the range. Never know. Let's just take a quick look at how Bitcoin is going to close. We are 24 minutes to close. Let's see how we're closing. Looks like we came down a bit. Oh no, we came back up. Nice. So bouncing off of the 8 on the 60-minute chart. Bitcoin, nice job. Nice job. Good job. Let's take a look at the ADX, see where I'm being held back at. Still having trouble getting over that 8. See. I think I was looking for a punch. Boom. Just a little punch. A little bounce play. Not a mucho yet, but that's it. Pay attention to your long-term charts. It's what matters. Dailies are working. Especially when you're getting in those trades. Want to make sure that you're in the right spot on the long-term chart. You don't want to bet against the long-term charts. Whole point of this video. We want to make sure Bitcoin closes above the 8. Looks like we got a nice bounce today on the close. Let's see if we can't get a continuation into the 6 grand mark. My first mark was met at 36. Let's look at Bitcoin again. My first mark was previous previous highs at 36. So well done. Into previous lows. It popped into previous lows, so the first mark is done. Next mark is moving forward, riding up the range into the next previous lows or previous highs. So 44 to 42. And then trend change on the weekly chart is upwards to 55 to 6 grand. Nicely done, Bitcoin. This could be a start of a great thing. Nice outside bar. Didn't come all the way back in like the wussies did. So let's do it. I'll see you guys.